The Eclipse Explorer's Guide, A Tale of Two Eclipses. Greetings, space explorers. About NASA. The National Aeronautics and Space Administration, NASA, is America's civil space program and the global leader in space exploration. NASA studies the Earth and its climate, as well as the Sun, solar system, and beyond. They conduct research, testing, and develops and funds space technologies that will both enable future exploration and benefit life on Earth. Navigating the lesson. Look out for these badges throughout the lesson and use it as your trusty learning guide to ensure that you have enough time to learn, discuss, practice, and reflect on your newfound knowledge. An estimate of how long the activity may take. Time to pause and have a discussion with the class. Put your newfound knowledge into practice in the real world. In this session, you will 1. Learn about the 4 types of solar eclipse. 2. Discover the 3 types of lunar eclipse. 3. Know the safety precautions for viewing an eclipse. Ready, set, blast off. What are the different types of solar eclipses? Types of solar eclipse. A solar eclipse happens when the moon passes between the sun and Earth, casting a shadow on Earth that either fully or partially blocks the sun's light in some areas. There are 4 kinds of solar eclipses. 1. Total solar eclipse. 2. Annular solar eclipse. 3. Partial solar eclipse. 4. Hybrid solar eclipse. Total solar eclipse. A total solar eclipse happens when the moon passes between the sun and Earth, completely blocking the face of the sun. The sky will darken, as if it were dawn or dusk. A total solar eclipse is the only type of solar eclipse where viewers can momentarily remove their eclipse glasses for the brief period of time when the moon is completely blocking the sun. There are several distinct stages of a total solar eclipse that observers can watch for. Stages of a total solar eclipse. A total solar eclipse is the only type of solar eclipse where viewers can momentarily remove their eclipse glasses during what's known as its totality, the brief period of time when the moon is completely blocking the sun. What you can see during a total solar eclipse depends on the weather and the location from which you view it. Partial solar eclipse. The moment when the moon first touches the sun is also called the first contact. During first contact, the moon does not completely cover the sun. The sun appears to have a crescent shape. For most locations, the partial eclipse phase will last between 70 and 80 minutes. Shadow bands. These are fast, dark lines with white spaces in between that you can see on buildings or the ground before and after a total eclipse. The air in the upper part of the Earth is not still, it moves around a lot. This can make the sunlight look wavy and blurry, just like when we see the stars twinkle at night. Bailey's beads. As the moon continues to move across the sun, some sparkly lights can be seen around the moon's edges, creating a cool effect. Known as Bailey's beads, these are light rays from the sun shining through the bumps and valleys on the moon's edge. Bailey's beads are very short-lived, so not everyone might get to see them. Diamond ring. Bailey's beads will begin to disappear until eventually only a single bright spot will remain along the edge of the moon's shadow. This bright spot looks like the diamond in a giant diamond ring formed by the rest of the sun's atmosphere. Totality. When the diamond ring goes away and there's no more sunshine, something special happens. This is called second contact. During second contact, people can see a thin pink circle around the moon that is called the chromosphere and white streams of light that come from the outer part of the sun, which is called the corona. Around this time, you may remove your eclipse glasses and look at the total eclipse safely with the naked eye. Totality may last only a minute or two in some locations. Brightening reappears. As the moon continues to move across the face of the sun, you can start to see a bright light on the other side of where you first saw the diamond ring. This moment is also called third contact. This is the lower atmosphere of the sun, beginning to peek out from behind the moon, and it is your signal to stop looking directly at the eclipse. Make sure your eclipse glasses are back on before the first flash of sunlight appears around the edges of the moon. Diamond ring, Bailey's beads, and shadow bands, again. Also known as the fourth contact, this is the moment that none of the sun is covered by the moon's shadow. You will again see the diamond ring, Bailey's beads, and shadow bands before the entire sun is visible. This is when the eclipse is completely over. Annular solar eclipse. An annular solar eclipse happens when the moon passes between the sun and Earth, but when it is at or near its farthest point from Earth. Because the moon is farther away from Earth, it appears smaller than the sun and does not completely cover the sun. As a result, the moon appears as a dark disk on top of a larger, bright disk, creating what looks like a ring around the moon. Partial solar eclipse. A partial solar eclipse happens when the moon passes between the sun and Earth, but the sun, moon, and Earth are not perfectly lined up. Only a part of the sun will appear to be covered, giving it a crescent shape. During a total or annular solar eclipse, people outside the area covered by the moon's inner shadow see a partial solar eclipse. Hybrid solar eclipse. Because Earth's surface is curved, sometimes an eclipse can shift between annular and total as the moon's shadow moves across the globe. This is called a hybrid solar eclipse. How can I safely view a solar eclipse? Viewing a solar eclipse. Except during the brief total phase of a total solar eclipse, when the moon completely blocks the sun's bright face, it is not safe to look directly at the sun without specialized eye protection for solar viewing. It's important to know the safety precautions before viewing a solar eclipse to prevent any injuries. Did you know that there are different sets of eye safety practices for viewing different kinds of solar eclipse? Eye safety for partial and annular solar eclipses. Do's. Look through safe solar viewing glasses, eclipse glasses, or a safe handheld solar viewer at all times. Safe solar viewers are thousands of times darker than regular sunglasses and must comply with the ISO 12312-2 international standard. Always inspect your eclipse glasses or handheld viewer before use. If torn, scratched, or otherwise damaged, discard the device. If you don't have eclipse glasses or a handheld solar viewer, you can use an indirect viewing method, which projects an image of the sun onto a nearby surface. Don'ts. Do not look at the sun through a camera lens, telescope, binoculars, or any other optical device while wearing eclipse glasses or using a handheld solar viewer. The concentrated solar rays will burn through the filter and cause serious eye injury. If you're using an indirect viewing method like a pinhole projector, do not look at the sun through the pinhole. Do not use eclipse glasses or handheld viewers with cameras, binoculars, or telescopes. Those require different types of solar filters. Partial or annular solar eclipses are different from total solar eclipses where there is a period of totality, and so it is never safe to look directly at the eclipse without proper eye protection. Eye safety for total solar eclipses. View the sun through eclipse glasses or a handheld solar viewer during the partial eclipse phases before and after totality. You can view the eclipse directly without proper eye protection only when the moon completely obscures the sun's bright face, during the brief and spectacular period known as totality. You'll know it's safe when you can no longer see any part of the sun through eclipse glasses or a solar viewer. As soon as you see even a little bit of the bright sun reappear after totality, immediately put your eclipse glasses back on or use a handheld solar viewer to look at the sun. The same do's and don'ts apply to viewing a total solar eclipse, as with partial and annular solar eclipses, with a few additional precautions. Other safety tips. Skin safety. Even during a partial or annular eclipse, or during the partial phases of a total eclipse, the sun will still be very bright. If you are watching an entire eclipse, you may be in direct sunlight for hours. Remember to wear sunscreen, a hat, and protective clothing to prevent skin damage. Online viewing option. You can watch eclipses as they happen without going outside your house or school premises through NASA's live coverage on nasa.gov/NASALive. This way you can catch this awe-inspiring celestial event without any risks on your eye or skin safety. Please like and subscribe to the channel.